I mentioned in the last section that each one of our players has their own pool, and I want to show what that looks like just a little bit more before we solve the problem there. Let's go into the blaster script, and I'm on line 27 where we add a new blaster shot to the pool, and right after we do that, right on line 31, let's just log the count of all objects on the pool. We're going to do debug log underscore pool dot count all. This will show how many entries we have in that pool. I'm also going to remove this private keyword so that it matches with the rest of my naming and conventions. Now I'm going to go into Unity and we're just going to start shooting a little bit with one of our blasters. So we'll use one of the players. I'll shoot and see what the log entries look like, and then we'll press play or join in on the other player and see what the log entries look like as well. All right, here we are, and if I got my log open and I start shooting, you'll see that we got 0 items. Shoot a bit, we're starting to build up the items, and the number is now up to like 70, 85 items, whatever. If I clear out the log, it's never going to be a smaller number. We're just going to get more as the pool grows. So I've got 99 items in this pool now. I don't know if I shoot more, yeah, I can get up to 120. So it's as many as I need to have. But as soon as I add in my second player and I run over, you see that they start shooting. Now they've got 20 items in the pool, 30, 65, totally separate pool of objects. So the total number of objects I have is now not 188, it's 188 plus however many this other character has. So I want to remove that and get it down to a single pool for all of the like objects. This will make a lot more sense if we have pooled objects for our enemies. We don't want to have a separate pool for each single enemy that shoots projectiles. We want them to all reuse these objects. So we may as well do the same with our player. To just get started, we're going to create a new script, and this new script is going to go right along with our game manager and player input manager, and this will be a pool manager that will be responsible for pooling anything that we pool, and it'll be a good place for us to assign objects and grab them back. So we're going to go into the project folder and right click in the scripts folder, create a new C# script, and I'm going to call this pool manager, no spaces, with a capital P and a capital M. We'll open that script up, and we're going to start by just making it return back a blaster shot. We'll make it blaster shot specific, and then we'll extend it out from there. So I'm going to get rid of the start and update methods, and instead we'll add an awake. And in the awake method, we want to initialize that blaster shot pool. Let's just go steal that code away from the blaster. I'll go into my blaster, and we'll find the part in awake where we initialize the pool, and I'm going to select it all, line 18 through 20, Control X, and cut it and get it right out of there. We'll paste it into our pool manager and get rid of the private keyword. Now we don't have the add blaster shot to pool, so we'll go into the blaster method and we'll take that as well. I'll select it, so lines 24 to 31, Control X, go over to the pool manager and we'll paste it in. We don't have a pool yet, so we should go steal that declaration too. We'll go over to the blaster one more time, take line 11, select it, Control X, and then go over to the pool manager and we'll paste it in. Oops, I accidentally added a plus. We'll get rid of that and paste it in. Now we do have an error here saying that it doesn't know what the object pool is. If I hit Alt Enter, we should get a using option for using Unity Engine.pool. Click that, and now our pools are back in. That got automatically added to the blaster when we typed it in, or at least when I typed it in last time. Now we need the blaster shot prefab. We'll steal that from the blaster as well. Each one of these things that we steal out of the blaster is making the blaster script simpler and moving the responsibility of spawning these objects into the pool manager. So we'll paste it into the pool manager. We've got a blaster shot prefab, we've got a pool, we've got an awake method, and a method to create our blaster shots. Now let's go back into the blaster and clean things up. So line 8 is blank, we can clear that. We've got an extra space here, we can clear that. And again, Shift Delete or Control X will remove these lines. Here, Control X, get rid of those lines. And now in our try fire and our update methods, we no longer have a pool to get from. So we need to replace this pool.get with something that gets it from our pool manager. So I'm just going to put pool manager.instance, because I know I could just turn this into a singleton if I just put the instance right there and then call get. I'm going to copy PoolManager.instance, paste it over the underscore pool. I'm also going to get rid of these comments at the end of the lines just to make it a little bit less confusing so I have less to look at. So now I've got PoolManager.instance.get that will return back a blaster shot. So I don't think that that's a good method name though for getting a blaster shot. I should probably call this get blaster shot. I'll replace get down here with get blaster shot. And then I finally need to create an instance here and then generate the get blaster shot method. So let's start by generating a property for the instance. Now I'll hit F12 to go check that property out. It gave me a public static object of instance or named instance. We're going to replace that with pool manager. So instead of object, it'll be a pool manager. Instead of an internal get, it'll be a private set. Inside of awake, we'll set instance equal to this. So now we've got an object that we can get the instance of that we can then call the get blaster shot on. We finally need to generate a get blaster shot method. So go back to the blaster, hit Alt Enter on the get blaster shot and generate a method. And then all this needs to do is return pool.get. Now, right now our pool is only a blaster shot pool, but we could probably rename that to blaster shot pool in a few minutes when we have another pool type. For now though, let's make this public. Save, do a build, and we should have a working pool manager and now a single pool for both of our blaster shots. Let's go double check. Oh, we've got, yep, our log entry right there. Just want to make sure it was still there. We'll go back into Unity. We're going to add the pool manager to our game manager prefab so that it's available in all of our scenes. And then we'll assign that blaster shot to it and we should be good to go. Let's go check that out. Here's that game manager. We'll add our pool manager script to it. I'm going to collapse some of these down and then we'll go assign the blaster shot prefab to it. See if we can find that in my assets folder. The search didn't show it, but I know where it is. Just in my prefabs folder, take that player blaster shot and drop it right in. Now I want to apply my changes to the prefab by going to the overrides and hitting apply all. Oh, here I've pressed play and let's go check it out. So I've got my log open. If I shoot a couple shots, I can see I'm up to 11 there. I've got my second player here. Let's bring him in, start shooting. And this guy's got 17. Let's shoot up to, okay, 124. Let's clear the log and keep clicking and see that, oh, look at that. I'm not getting any more. Next one's going to be over 100 at least. I might even have to shoot to the 125. There we go. Start shooting from both players to start building up more and more. So now I've got a single pool for all of my blaster shots and they're being reused. I don't have to create new ones and I can use the same system for all of my other pooled objects. Let's stop playing, make sure that I've saved my scene. I think my prefab is updated. Let's go into the plastic window and actually the first, before we commit, let's go back to the blaster and remove that log entry because we don't really want to be spamming out that we are, or I guess it's in our pool manager. We don't want to be spamming out the log entry of how many things are in the pool. So I'm going to delete that out. We'll save, go back into Unity, go to plastic, and we'll commit our change that we've now created a pool manager to handle pooled objects. Created pool manager to handle pooled objects and check in.